All right, you guys. Well, we'll let people start joining in. I am not gonna lie. It's been a day. It has been a day, if I can say the least. I've got to jump out real quick. Hold on. Um, Pause. I had to jump out for a second. I'm honestly not the best with YouTube Live, but I am trying my best over here. Um, okay, y'all. Sorry, your girl was trying to figure out YouTube Live for a second. YouTube Live is a little different than Instagram, okay? But anyways, that's besides the point. I am going to get started on here in just a second, but as we get people rolling in, I want you guys to tell me where you are from. Go ahead and drop it in the chat. Tell me where you're from. Thank you, sis, because your girl been breaking out, but I appreciate the compliment because I'm trying. Okay. But yeah, you guys, sorry I have to do this from my car. But the reality is your girl was hungry and I was headed and I'm like, I'm gonna go get food. And it's like I don't have all that time like I thought. So we in the car. Hello. Um Hi you guys. Welcome. I asked you if you're just now jumping in here, let me know where you're from, boo. I wanna know where you're from. Wow, there's so many. Okay. Uh Charlotte, Houston, um, let me see. Bahamas, Nigeria, South Africa, France, Nigeria, ATL, baby. Um, New Jersey, Maryland, Norway. Hi, you guys. As you guys join in here. Hey, Cornelia, girl, what you doing? How you doing? I know Cornelia, y'all. That's what I'm saying that. But hey, you guys, San Antonio, Texas, Canada. Welcome, New Jersey again, the Bahamas again, Charlotte. Welcome, Miami. Someone said we in the car too. Okay, good, y'all. Sorry I'm in the car. I actually planned to go live today, so I had to keep my word, even though life has been crazy these last few days, this last week. But today I want to just jump on here and go live with you guys. I don't actually get to do this often, and I only really go live when there is a special thing going on, okay? Um, Honestly, I don't know how to even comment on here. I don't think I can comment on here. Wow. That's crazy. Crazy girl. Tulsa stand up. Paige, hello, Paige. Can you try and see if you can drop that link? Because YouTube don't even let your girl comment. But you guys, the reason why I'm on here today is because crazy enough, your girl did something again. Okay. Let me just say that. When I say your girl did something again, the reality is I took a 2 week sabbatical at the beginning of August. And during this 2 week sabbatical, I struggled with taking this sabbatical because the sabbatical, I just am such a workaholic. But during this 2 week sabbatical, man, God gave me so much ideas. And one of the ideas he gave me was about revamping my mentorship, which is my membership, which is how I mentor a lot of women at once. Okay. God gave me this idea. And the reality of it is, I remember just one night getting like excited because it was like I kept asking the Lord, why is the membership, like, why does it go and then it flops? Like, I've been working on this thing for years, and like I believed we would be at a different place by now, and I just believed all these different things. Like, I'm happy with where I'm at, but I know it could be greater, right? That was one of my biggest questions I think I've been asking God probably all summer. Even probably during the school year, I've been kind of wondering, like, how can we take this thing to the next level, Lord? Like, what am I doing wrong? Because I am the leader of this, although you lead me, but sometimes the issue is the leader as well. So I was just like, what's going on? Why is this not working out? And I think the reality, the way the Lord gave it to me is it never had a name. It never had a purpose. It was just a quick idea you got from me, and it's almost like you started to run with it, but before you knew it, it started to grow, and then you're like, oh crap, what am I doing, like okay, I gotta just keep dropping classes, keep dropping master classes. So anyways, I say all that to say, something God gave me a few months, like about a month ago, was Social University. And today we dropped Social University. Social University is my online mentorship, membership, subscription service to where you can learn from me and other experts all about how to get social, okay? Because I think it's amazing that I'm here in Oklahoma and I can drop a message and a girl in Nigeria can hear that message. I think that's amazing that social media has been such a great medium for us to use for the glory of God. I do believe that. And so, what I'm doing with Social University is I'm trying to teach you how to build your own empire in Jesus Christ, okay? So, although there's a lot of great things out here, one thing I will say for myself is I've used to get into courses and some master classes, and I could quickly tell that that person wasn't founded on Christian values. I could tell by the marketing techniques and some schemes that they had. I'd be like, oh, this isn't for me. I could tell in my spirit, like, this isn't for me. And so that's why I wanted to create Women a place where you can get techniques and strategies, but also you learn how to keep God in your business. And I created Social University. And I think the reality is it was already the membership, so I didn't really think there's not that big of a difference, but a new look, right? But when I started to really get down to everything we're adding into it, but also the purpose behind it is different. It's like there's a deeper purpose. And so, anyways, I say all that today to say that I dropped Social University, which is just my online platform. If you ever want to be mentored by me, you ever said like I have a call into entrepreneurship, you said that I feel this call to purpose in my God-given vision, but your girl is struggling. Like I don't even know where to start. Okay, I want to tell you, we have over 20 plus master classes that teach you stuff like, girl, I mean, like teach you stuff like how to write your book, how to write your first book. Even this, like how to elevate your social media, how to become a speaker, okay? Even something as in, I'm trying to think, how to plan like a CEO, how to blog faithfully, how to blog beautifully, how to revamp your website, how to write your first book, how to write your first printable, or how to design your first printable and get people inside of your ministry and get people inside of your message and get people inside of your business, right? So I have a lot of master classes in there, but right now we are starting to bring in experts and we're really trying to just take this thing to another level the way God has shown it to me. And so I will say, we also offered another tier with it because I have heard a lot of women say, Morgan, like, hey, I can't afford that. So is there any way I can get this or that? And at the time, we didn't have that option, but now we do, sis. So we offered a second tier. So your first tier is called the beginner tier. It is only $20 a month. You get one masterclass with the challenge with the masterclass bundle. So even though I call them masterclass, these are bundles of videos teaching you on a certain topic, right? Um, and so you get a masterclass bundle, you get your guide, you get a digital resource every month. You also get a monthly challenge, and you get that every month with the beginner tier. But if you're somebody who's like, I'm ready for the shebang, okay? Then what you do is you can get the pro, where the pro is $35 a month, but you get access to our digital library. You get access to all my ebooks, all the workbooks. You get access to all the master classes. You get access to all the challenges. You get access to a live group coaching call with me every month. You get access to a private Facebook group. You get access to live Q&As with me. You get access to accountability leaders. You get access to daily tips and advice. You get access to just random drop videos and messages that I just drop random times of the day. I'm sorry, you guys, but you get access to all that. And so the reality is, I really believe, like, I just know, like, this is my baby, a part of my baby. And I think the reality is, like, I know whoever has been that person that has just felt like God has called you to take something to another level, but, you don't know how. You don't know how. Then that right there is a big key factor. And maybe you should look into Social University, even if you do it for a little bit and then you grow out of it. We get a lot of women right now. I think we've had over 800 women in it, but we have also 200 women for sure. I think 201 or 221, I don't remember the number, that have started their own businesses, or evolved their own businesses through this. And so I know it works. I know it's a blessing, but this is what I always say, like, it's not only, it only don't only work because because you put in the work, but I think it really works is because women come who already have a seed, which that means they already have this idea. They already have a seed that God gave them. If it was years ago, if it's been off and on, they have this seed in their heart, okay? And when I say this seed, they have this idea. God drops seeds on our lives all the time. So they have this seed and this idea that God has dropped to them in and out of season. Like, you've gotten married, you had a kid, and that seed is still there. That idea keep popping up. Okay, you went to university and you got the degree, but that seed is still popping up. It's like that dream that won't go away. God keeps knocking it at the front of your heart. So I'm coming to the women with the seed that is on your heart, but it's God. So God put it in the soil of your heart. So that means now all you have to do is water that thing. And I think the reality of it is I can't bring you the harvest, but what I can bring is water. And that's what Social University is. We're just trying to water your seed to get you to take action and use tips and strategies to really help you. And then from that moment on, sis, the Lord gonna bring the harvest. See, I think the reality is God put a seed in my heart to build a ministry. The seed was an idea that would not go away. What happened is, though, research, learning, finding information, getting help, getting mentors, that began to water the seed so I could reap the harvest of when that thing came to pass. But what happens is if you look up and your seed has not even harvested, you don't see action, you don't see any result, you don't see any form of fruit showing up. What happens is that means you haven't watered that thing long enough. And I think the reality is God wants you to water your seeds. Like he's going to water, he's going to bring someone in your life to encourage you. He's going to bring opportunities to help you just step in that thing. But if you don't take opportunities, how is he going to keep watering you? Like God is going to keep bringing things around you so much. And I will say, like, God would use random people to water my seed, but that meant just because they watered it didn't mean that that was going to make me take action. I had to go take action off of that seed. I remember, I think it was like 2017, 2016, I came across this girl. It's called Female Entrepreneur Association. And she had all these women in this like thing with her. And her advice she was giving was watering a seed I already had. Now, I didn't have the resources to build that. I didn't have the money. I didn't even have the following to even think that was possible at the time. But I loved what she was doing. And I thought that would be cool. But you know what? A few years later, that seed that she watered already kind of in me, it started to reap a harvest. It started to show up again. So I think the reality is some of us have seeds in us that we might have thought like, oh, like that ain't never gonna happen for me. I mean, look, it's 3 years now. I was supposed to go get that degree. It's 3 years now. I still ain't there. So I'm just gonna put it away. I was supposed to write the book. I was supposed to launch the boutique. I was supposed to do those things, but you know, it's so far away now. I'm not even gonna try for it. But the thing about it, I want to tell you, God has a seed in you. He has a seed he put in you, and all you need to do is get in the, he's already put it in a good soil because it's in your heart, good fertile soil. All you need to let somebody do is let, and also just water that mug. That's where you grab strategy. That's where you take action. That's where you get into a faith-based community. That's where you get some prayer leaders. That's where you get that sis you call up when you're struggling. That's when you get that person that's gonna pour into you. That's where you get that mindset that, hey, no matter come hell or high waters, the seed is gonna have to be produced. The seed is gonna have a harvest. The vision may tarry for a season, but oh, it will come. This thing will surely come to pass. I want to tell you right now, Social University, all we're trying to do is water your seeds, sis. That's it. And I even like, I'd be trying to like, how can I market better, Lord? Like, I was even like, Lord, I'm not a great seller. Like, I don't know how to sell this thing to people. And I think the quick thing is God was like, all you doing is watering their seeds. See, Morgan, you can't give them a seed. You always tell women, don't come to me until you have a seed. Don't come to Social University until you got a seed or an idea. Now, come to the ministry to get Jesus. Once you get him long enough, he gonna drop a seed in you. Okay, trust me. But once you get that seed, then come to somebody who can water that seed. So when that thing comes to harvest, you can be ready. You can have the strategy. But also listen to this though: if you never water your seed, it will not come to harvest. Sis. Seed is faith, and faith without works is dead. So that is action as well. Okay. So if you look up and you're like, man, it's 6 years now, and I was supposed to start a boutique. I was supposed to start that fashion line. Hey, I was supposed to start that hair, like my own little hair care service. Like I was supposed to start this. I was supposed to start that LLC. I was supposed to start that nonprofit. I was supposed to start that little give back program. And it's 5 years now, and there was no fruit in that area. You don't see no result. Sis, you haven't watered it enough. You haven't got around people enough that will water your seed. I don't know about you guys, but the goal with Social University is accountability and community. We have over 800 women right now in our Facebook group where we're trying to build community. We're trying to water their seeds, y'all. So right now, I want to encourage somebody. Don't get down if you look like that. Because there was years ago, it took me 4 years to get in the seminary, Lord of mercy. And it was like that seed, I almost quit watering it because it looked like it wasn't coming to pass. But if you can't do anything, start with your faith because God wants to water your seed. And you know, I don't think I think the reality is sometimes we throw ideas off because they don't look like seed. They're still in seed form. Like they don't look like nothing. But sis, if you run with that thing, if you water that thing, if you go through highs and lows in your life, but that thing still keep working, you God will do something. God will do something. So I just wanted to come here today because I mean, if you go to the website, which I know we have like the link and stuff, I don't know what I can't comment on here, but if you go to my website, it's in the top tab, it says Social University. If you go there, it's going to look like the perfect marketing thing. It's going to look beautiful, it's going to look aesthetically pleasing, but the reality says I'm just trying to water your seed. And so if you have this dream, you got this idea, and you got this heart thing that God has been putting on you, I pray that you continue to, even if you don't do it through us, girl, water that seed though. Okay? Water that seed. Because I think the reality of it is there's too many people out here, including myself in one season. And currently, because today when I was on the Instagram live, I was talking about water the seed, and God reminded me of something. I'm like, dang, I forgot about that seed. Not that I forgot, but it feels so impossible. It's so far away that it's like it's easier to not look at it. It's easier to not water it. It's easier to not pursue it and just keep going after what my hand is already on versus going after that. Okay. So I want to tell you, we all have some seeds that God has dropped in us, but it's up to the amount of work and faith we're willing to put into that thing. Sorry, my shirt's kind of low, but the amount of faith and work to put into that thing. And that's what I want to tell you right now. I just want to water your seeds, sis. You know, and the way we can water your seed. First off, you first got to make sure you water in that mug. Okay, let's be real. I know how many times I have wanted somebody else to water my dream when I didn't even have enough faith in my dream. Okay, so you first got to get the faith. You got to get the vision. You got to get the zeal. But from there, that's where you start to connect yourself with people. That's where you do research. That's where you find a group. You found accountability. You find a place where you can go and get that seed watered. The place that I went to get my seed watered early on in my faith was a Bible study. I used to go, and that was to get me to a place where I could truly trust Jesus though. That's the first thing. When I finally got to a place where I could trust Jesus, then I had to go to another place to get me watered because that place couldn't water me anymore. It couldn't water me no more. So the next place I went, let me think, where was the next place I went? Ooh, okay. The next place I went, it was more of like a group of friends. We would all kind of edify each other and keep each other accountable. This was in college. Um, After that, the next place I went was the garden, which I talk about in a lot of my videos. It's the backyard. That's where I went to water my seed. Okay. And that's like to water my dream and to water the words that God has spoken over me, to continue to water that thing. And in this last season, I would go kind of in my living room at the time in my apartment. That's where I would water my seed. I'd water my seed. I'd water it at church in a community of faith. I would water it going on walks with my dog. I'd water my seed. Okay. And I think the reality is now, whew, it's good, Jesus. I'm back in the garden to water the same seed. It's a new seed there now. Like, I think you got to realize, like, you know, the same people in the same situations can't always water you, you know? And I think sometimes we go back to the same thing, like the same person, or same to try to get watered, but sometimes it's another thing. Like, how the way the Lord gave it to me, like, that's why I said, woo, it's like in one season, one thing watered you, and it watered you amazingly. And now you're trying to go back to the same well and get water from that thing. And that well is dry now. Because now you are bigger than that. You got to go get water somewhere else, sis. Okay. And so I just want to encourage you with your dream. And that's what Social University is. Like, that's what I'm making it for myself and for other women. It's a place we get watered. Okay. We get watered. Okay. We like that if you don't take nothing from this live, sis, you better get watered. Okay. You better walk around the next 7 days God watering something. Hey, that dream back there in the back of my mind that when I look at, I cringe because at one time I thought I could truly have it, but now I don't really believe I could have it. Oh, that mug is getting watered today. Okay, Lord. And I think that is a key right there is you got to believe God is going to water your stuff for you. Okay. So y'all, I was supposed to be answering questions, but I haven't even got to no Q&A yet. But if you have any questions for me, you are so welcome to drop that here in the chat. Also, I will say what I want to say to you guys is Social University is really just trying to help you stop being antisocial and start utilizing the platforms that God has already given you to really expand that beyond your imagination. Like literally, like me and my social media manager, we just dropped a master class inside of Social University. And the reality is, in one of our little parts, I'm asking her questions based off of, like, if you don't have a social media manager yet, what would you tell that person to do in all of this? And something she was like, we were talking about the power of social media, and she was like, I was 19 years old and I watched you, Morgan Tracy J, religiously. Like, I watched all your videos and I loved your videos. I'm over here in South Africa. And she's like, I'm over here in Africa, and I get the courage one day to email you and tell you I would love to possibly just help you out for free for a little, like, just help you out for free. And she's like, and you responded. And now, me and Natasha, that is my social media manager. She's been my social media manager for like a year, maybe some change. And she she was 19 years old, young girl, and she literally took my social media from like not 5 to 9K. I was in that range somewhere. It might have been like 8 or 7. It was somewhere in that range to 21K. She is gifted in this area, right? But I realized the key here is like social media is so powerful. Me and her have such a relationship now, and it's crazy because she's overseas, like she's across the world from me. And what her gift is, her gift all the way over there is helping me right here. I just want to share that with somebody today. Like, don't doubt the power of social media. God gonna send you help. I used to be trying to sit down and post something, and I would have no idea what to post. It would be a Tuesday or a Friday, and I ain't posted all week. And I know I got all these women online, and I'm like, Lord, what do I like? I would be struggling. I'm trying to tell you, sis came to me. She worked for me for like 2 months for free, maybe a month or two. I'm the one who started offering to pay her. I'm like, hey, I'm paying you. Like, but the reality of it is God will send help. So if you over here thinking about that little seed and how it's gonna figure, God will send help. But sis, it's time to get social. Utilize so, and I always say this, people don't even realize they're influencers. Like, sis, just because you post that little picture of yourself with your dog or your cat and you just think it's for your family, you still influencing. Because if you sit down and post something of this ice cream that you're eating and you love, you influencing, because now you promoting somebody's ice cream and you just sharing it. Okay? So the reality is you have so much more influence than you think you do. You are so much more powerful than you think you are. And it took a 19-year-old girl from Africa to write me, and for me to see her gift, to realize, oh, she better at this than I am. So I can kind of release the reins a little bit because she got a better gift in this than I do. And I don't have to be the expert in everything. Like, that's what this season in Social University is trying to show, that each of us are expert in something. Okay? We are all influencers, okay? Come on now. We all are. No matter if you got 0 people following you, because you're an influencer at your workplace. You're an influencer on the playground, okay? You're an influencer when you date, when you're taking care of that child. You are influencing every single day of your life. And so I think the reality is understanding that power of social media. And that's why we created Social University, because there are so many of you beautiful ladies out here with gifts that, shoot, I maybe could use. I might be looking for somebody right now who can come and edit some stuff for me. And you got a gift, but you all the way overseas. But also you have this seed, but you scared to reach out. You scared to step out in faith. Okay? So I think the reality is you got to make sure you watering that seed with faith. And I think my assistant Paige said this today. Was it today? Yeah, I wrote it on a sticky note. God can only take you as far as your faith is willing to go. That's it. Like if you feel like, every time I get to this place in my business, every time I get to this place in my relationship, every time I get to this place in my finances, every time I get to this place in my mindset, every time I get to this place in my body, and all crap breaks loose, that's as far as your faith can go right now. So if it's always a place you get to and you can't go further, that means your faith is at that capacity. You've got to get a new level of faith. And so Social University is challenging me, Lord have mercy, to have a new level of faith, to have a new level of projections, to have a new level of connections. Like, it's causing me to have another level of faith. And I think the reality of it is, when God drops a seed in your heart, when God drops a seed in the soil of your heart, and you just water it with faith and action, God will let that thing come to pass. And it will probably be quicker than you expected. Okay? So all you have to do is continue to water your seed. All you have to do is continue to water your seed. Okay? And if that's getting in a community of people, if that's getting in the garden, if that's reading your word, which it should be, it's going to be a lot of different things, but you got to water that seed, okay? Because I don't want to look up, and this happens a lot. And you look up and you see somebody, and dang, look how much they've grown in the last 2 years. But then when you look back at yourself, you don't see a lot of growth. You might be in the same mindset, the same issues, the same relationship issues. Like everything is just the same. And the whole thing is that was the only level of faith you had. So I think the reality is God today wants us to get a new level of faith for the seed he's given us, you know? And my seed right now is social university. Like my seed is social university. And we are watering it right now. We watering it by talking about it, right? We watering this. But I think the reality is you got to just be willing to do the work. Take the action. Water that mug. Watering your seed is taking action and having faith together. They go together. Because you can have all the faith in the world, but if you never move, is it really faith? You know what I mean? Like the only way you can split the Red Sea is you've got to step out there and you got to believe that Red Sea can get split. You can't just sit back and be like, oh, I believe it's going to get split, but you never move. Okay? So you can't have that spiritual laziness when it comes to your seed. Mm-mm. I rebuke that. Lord have mercy. Because sometimes your girl want to get lazy, okay? I'm not going to lie. And I have to come against the spirit of slothfulness. I have to come against the spirit of laziness. I have to come against that when it comes to my seed. And I think this is a reality for a lot of us to realize we're not going to be here forever, okay? And so you want to use your time and the seed in your heart. You want to get that. You want to do that mug. It's going to bring you so much joy, so much peace. A lot of backaches though. A lot of late nights. It will, but it will be worth it. Okay, you guys. So okay, Cassandra, that is amazing. I just seen your comment come in. Someone said, "Can you repeat that quote?" Yes. Paige said it. Um. Oh, you can only go as far. You can only go as far as your faith will take you. Like God will only take you as far as your faith can carry. Hold on. I'm losing it. You can only go as far as your faith can manage. No, I'm adding words now. Y'all, it's on a sticky note on my computer, but this is the reality, y'all, okay? Your girl be forgetting, but I was like, the quote was like, you can God can only take you as far as your faith will go. Something like that, okay? Switch it up a little bit if you got to, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay, you guys, I'm going to try to answer a few questions if you have any. Um, Oh wow, Krupa said, I started watching you when you were one woman army. Now you're talking about assistant. Come on, sis, that's anointing. Wait, I don't know if that was to me. Maybe that was Paige. Hey, Paige. Claim the algorithm of YouTube has favored us. I am an influencer. Okay. Well, right now I don't really think I have any questions, which that is perfectly fine because then we can just continue to go on. But I will say right now we have a 7-day sale going on with Social University. And it's only for 7 days, y'all, and then those doors close, okay? Because I gotta honor and work with the women inside of that mug. And so I think the reality is we're only going to keep this open for 7 days, Social University. And there is a special deal over there right now where you get your first month half off. So if you're interested in getting access to 20 plus master classes, the private Facebook group, accountability leaders, all that great stuff, you should probably check that out because right now it's only going to be on sale for 7 days. And when them doors close, sis, I don't know when they open it. I have a projected date, but Lord knows me and my schedule, that date might not even be the date. But I just will be honest with you, like when those doors close next Thursday night, they're closed. And so if you're somebody who wants to jump in there and be a part of that, I would encourage you to check out the link. It's at my website, hisdaughter'scloset.com/social university. And I know it's going to bless you. I know if you have a seed that needs to be watered, that mug gonna water some seeds, okay? And that's just fact. Like it's gonna water some seeds, okay? So that is what I can say about that. Social university, okay? Let me see. Someone said, any advice to good friend to worldly friends? Oh, to be a good friend to worldly friends. I mean, I think you just be like any other friend. I don't think you separate them. Maybe there's certain things you won't quite do with them. Um, I have some, so to speak, worldly friends. You know, parents. I have family members that are worldly. I have friends that are worldly that I grew up with that have been my friends all my life, though. And I just think I I go to certain things with them and some things I don't. You know, and I'm always the same Morgan with them versus when I'm not, though. Um, there's certain things they know I probably would never do or talk about or say or whatever. But I just love them. I just love them. Like I love them. Hey girl, how you doing? Da, da, da. Oh yeah, how's your baby? How's this? Like I just love them, and I think that's the key is just love your friends. And that's how you do good to them. You just love them with the love of Christ, and you have to remember that we are meant to be a reflection of Christ, and Christ is love, man. We're meant to be a reflection of Him. Now, if they bring something to you crazy, now we're like, hey, come to this club, come do this with us. Hey, that's not my scene, but I'll catch you on the flip side. Like I'll see you when we go get dinner. I'll see you when we go skate or do something else. Like, but I ain't gonna go to that particular situation, right? So it's just knowing how to manage yourself, but also too, you got to remember you're not really doing this for them. You're not going for them. You're not going for you. And I think sometimes we kind of forget. We try to make other people happy. Like, yes, I'll stick around for another hour. Nah, you got to do things that's right for you. It's okay to say no. It's okay to have boundaries. That actually really protect you. And so I just want to say that right there. Um, okay. I don't really know if there's any other. I mean, there's quite a bit of you in here, but I'll say if anybody has a question for me, go right ahead because I don't really have nothing else to talk about. And I don't want to keep rambling on social university this whole time. But I mean, I guess we can. Social university. Um, I don't know what it's a hard. I already said it, y'all. Like, I am not a seller. Like, this mug is hard. That's really really hard to try to. I'm not like that. It's really hard to market for me. It's hard to promote stuff, but my social media manager Theo, or Natasha, she told me one time, I was like, gosh, I don't like selling. I do not like this. And she was like, you're not selling, you're offering them a solution. And if you have a solution for them, then offer it. But if you don't offer nothing. Like, and our reality is if you're somebody who feels like you're always Googling stuff, you're tired of trying to figure out what do I do? How do I write my book? How do I start this? How do I start like planning correctly for my business? How do I make powerful videos and learn how to edit? How do I create better thumbnails? How do I really grow as a speaker? How do I lead an online or in-person event? If these are questions you have, social university is for you. Okay. So thank you, Natasha, for giving me that, because the reality is when I used to look at it without like you're actually offering them a solution to a problem, I used to be like not for it. I'd be like no. Okay, do you have any advice for singles? Actually, I do, and I have a lot of videos here on my YouTube channel about that. All you have to do is type in Morgan Tracy J singles, because I mean I could give you just probably 2% of what I probably give out of all of those videos. I have so much advice for singles. And I will say the biggest one is fall in love with Jesus, because in turn you're going to fall in love with yourself. And that's the best love you could ever have. All right, let's keep going. Do you have any tips on finding a good church home? I came out of an apostolic type, so it's hard to find churches that believe in prophecy or praying in the spirit. I think you have to just go around. Like, you have to kind of look at what kind of churches you're drawn to. So, for example, watch some churches online. Find what kind of church you're drawn to, and then find a church similar to that in your city. That's kind of what I've done. Because I came from like a Methodist background when I first got saved. So it was a real, no offense to Methodists, but it was real religiosity going on. And when I finally came out of that, it was really hard to get into any other denomination unless it was going to go deeper into that religiosity, because at first I just didn't feel good. I had a lot of doctrine that was a little more more judgmental, and so it was really hard for me at first. But I think with time and just watching other churches online, watching other churches in their worship and their words that they deliver, I started to find my kind of taste in what I could receive. Like all that, and the Lord said, and that was not for me. I was like, oh no, like I was not that girl. Like I didn't like that. I didn't like the, like all that. Like that was not for me at all. So like, see, you gotta find your taste, you know. And if they start singing like, and the Lord said, that's not my style. That's somebody else's style. That's just not mine, you know. And then some of them that are real dry, that have no sense of humor, sometimes like no personality, like old school. That's kind of dry to me too, you know. So you gotta just go online and you gotta start looking at churches in your area too that have the vibe that suits your soul. Because one thing about it, it's not about finding a message that fits you, it's about finding a presenter that fits you, if that makes sense. Because sometimes the message is still powerful, but he's singing it and I can't receive it, right? Sometimes the message is still powerful, but he hooping and hollering and I can't really receive the message now, right? So I think the reality is you want to get into you want to connect to something that fits right for you. um Morgan, please pray for me to launch my blog and YouTube. Cassandra, I'll keep you in my prayers. Girl, you just gotta water that seed. If you water that and work towards it every day, write down all the things you need to do to launch your blog, and then write down everything you need to do to launch your YouTube, and take a task on that every day that you gotta do. It's just that mug will be launched in no time. Okay. It be an offense if you have tell us about it. Oh, it'll be an offense if you had value. Okay, I don't know if that was for me. Sorry, y'all. I dropped my phone. Okay, almost. Okay, let me keep going. What is God teaching you right now? That's good. I think He's teaching me to love without measure. I think He's teaching me to forgive quicker. I think He's teaching me to love in another way than I've ever loved before. To love quickly, to love gracefully, to love patiently, to forgive fast, and to just do what I know He's called me to do, which is love. I think that's the biggest thing right now in my life. God is calling me to love better. How do I keep the drive to get up every morning and spend time with God? I hate getting up. Why not do it in the afternoon or the evening or at another time? You know, I say this because I don't believe there's a one structured time that we all have to spend time with God. Because depending on what season I was in life, I spent different times with God. So when I was in college, I had an 8 a.m. physics class. So I never spent time with God in the morning my junior year. It was after that class, I had an hour break and I would go sit down in like one of these, like court, like the middle area in one of these big buildings. And I would sit there with my headphones in and I would journal and I would listen to worship music and I would do my devotional right there, and I was spending time with the Lord, and that was more of like after my class. Now it depends, like when I got more into a job too. I used to work for a school district where I had to get up early. Sometimes I was up at like 6, 8. No, I was at work by 6 a.m. So your girl was up at like 4 or 5. So I never did devotion in the morning. I did devotion in the evening when I got home from work, just because your girl needed her sleep. She was already getting up early enough as it was. So I don't think, like, if that morning isn't best for you, do it lunch, do it afternoon, do it evening, do a nighttime Bible study. I think the reality of it is, but you also said, hold on, let's clear this up real quick, okay? Because you said, ooh, let's clear this up. Spend time with God, okay? You can spend time with God anywhere. You can spend time with God walking your dog. But if you're specific talking about like a devotional or study time, then that, you might need to do morning, afternoon, evening. But you have to realize that any and every time is spending time with God. Like you can be walking, you can be washing your dishes. The mom that's doing laundry is spending time with God. If she has the awareness of God, if her mind is set on God, you're spending time with him. Driving your car, going to work that morning, in the shower. If your mind's set on, you spending time with it. You spending time with him. Now, you're talking about Because I think we got to realize that just reading your Bible doesn't mean you're spending time with God. It really doesn't. But sometimes people look at, I used to be that girl. I would sit down with my Bible and have my perfect devotional set up. And one time the Lord said, I don't want your devotional time. I want your heart. And I was like, I thought this was my heart. Like, I'm sitting here every morning getting up reading the Bible with you. Like, I thought this was my heart. He's like, no, you're putting devotional time over me. Like, you over here trying to read 3 chapters. I'm over here trying to talk to you. You over here trying to, get through your prayer, worship, and 2 chapters in the Bible. And today, I need you to be in prayer. Like, because that's where the flow comes. I see we talked earlier on my live about flow and balance. But when you flow with the Spirit, and this is what I heard before, man. This is what I heard, and I'm in seminary, and I heard this from a theologian. He's like, I never go over 10 minutes of prayer, but I never go more than 10 minutes without praying, because you pray without ceasing. You always spending time with the Lord. You're always spending time with God. It's not limited to your Bible being open, because girl, you could be walking down the street and the Lord speak to you. You spend time with the Lord. Like, you are always spending time with the Lord if you have the awareness of that. But if you don't, then you're going to think, I'm doing really bad because I didn't get up this morning to do devotion. Dang, I haven't got up in 3 days and did devotion. I'm so far from the Lord. That is not a place to build your relationship on with God. And I'm going to say that from experience, because it was like, oh, when I'm doing devotion every morning and reading the scripture every morning at the right time and all this, then God is happy with me. Now, that's a relationship built off of works. You want a relationship built off of grace. Grace says, I'm spending time with the Lord all the time. Just as long as I have the awareness and I look at him and I serve him and I speak to him, as long as he's speaking to me, as long as I'm reading his word, as long as I'm learning and getting edified. I could be dancing in the living room with my children and I'm still spending time with the Lord. So that's just kind of what it just comes from, like a trying to perform. And I definitely, God had to work through that through me on my like year 2 or 3 of my faith walk, because I was so built up on devotion, and I was so built up on having devotion because that made me close to God, and not having faith in Jesus Christ, that he died on the cross for my sins, is what makes me close to God. But my Bible, if I read it every day, if I do this every day, then I'm close to God. No. The moment I accepted Jesus Christ in my heart as my Lord and Savior, the moment I repented, the moment I rededicated my life to Jesus, I was close to God, and I'm still close. So that is a little mind shift, but I know, pray on it, work on it, because it's a thing. And I know that wasn't just for you, sis, because I have to say it all the time, because we can get a little performance based. And I was that girl, trust me. So I'm not speaking on no judgment at all, Lord of mercy. I'm speaking on, if you only, like, think about it. If you have this box and you're like, God can only speak to me like this when I'm standing in front of my Bible, what about all the other times when God has been trying to speak to you, but since he only can speak to you when you sit in front of the Bible, that's the only time you hear him, but all the other times you miss him. Oh, he can only love me when I'm really deep in my stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, nah, like you can miss out on a lot of great revelation and a lot of great love from the Lord if if you continue in that thought process. How has God helped you maintain financial stability in your ministry? Girl, I don't know, and and he ain't even helped me do that sometimes, if I'm honest. There are seasons, and I think the reality is ministry is a faith walk. There are seasons God will tell me, give. Hey sis, you want so much thousand months? You need to give this much to have that. Like, okay. Sometimes God has cleaned out sometimes my ministry bank accounts have all been negative because we bought new things. We bought another camera, or we bought an office. Lord have mercy. We signed contracts for an office and had to pay all this money, and all that was on a faith walk. And we didn't even have everything we thought we had, but we had enough, but we went a little negative. Like, I don't think my ministry has ever been very stable, if I'm honest. But I will say it's always at a stable place. And then when God requires it to have a faith walk, it gets a little shaky. I ain't gonna lie, it does. But I will say, the thing I will say for like ministry founders is, if it gets shaky and you never had a plan though, and it's shaky, then that's a problem. But if you had a plan, you had programs, you had missions, and you were working towards those missions, okay then. So it's like this past year, November, this past year was a harder year for my ministry, because we got an office, and because we revamped the office, and because I had to pay for insurance, and because I had to pay for a lot of extra stuff that over time. And I remember feeling like, wow, I can't afford this, or this is expensive. It's like so much comes in a month, but then so much goes out a month. Like this is too much. And I want to tell you, the Lord has provided over and over again. And so I will say, I don't want to be over here lying and being like, oh, boo, he just keep it stable. No, he requires me sometimes. Like, I remember, like, sometimes he requires me to drop money on and donate or give things in a season when I'm like, we can't do that right now. But he requires that, you know, because he's going to double portion that mug, you know? So it's like, I have to have the faith to know when God has called me to lean into something, to do it the way that I've been called to do it. So I can't really answer that one like I can't lie. So to me, I can't answer that one and say like he's always kept us stable, because sis, I have been on ministry calls and sitting there with negative bank accounts for my ministry. I've been on clarity and confidence calls, and my ministries are all negative accounts. But you know what? That don't shake me, because this is what I know. I've seen it with tens and 20s and 30s, okay? Thousands. I've seen it with thousands. So I know if he did it before, he can do it again. Okay? So if we sitting in the low place, it's because he's trying to resurrect something. It's because that we took a leap of faith, and this is requiring faith. But he gonna resurrect this mug, right? So it don't shake me. But in the beginning, back in the day, that mug used to shake me, man. Lord have mercy. I'd be like up all night, like, no, this is what I do. How am I not managing this? And it's like, hey, this is a faith move. Like, this is what you got to do, sis. Okay. I like a guy, but he has a medical issue. Should that be a deal breaker? A medical issue? You got to be clear on that, because a medical issue, like, I don't even know why that would be a deal breaker, unless the medical issue is like he has to smoke marijuana all day every day because of cataracts, like, or because of anxiety. Like, if that's a medical issue, then you might need to find somebody else that don't have that issue. But like, are you saying like bro has high blood pressure? Like, that's not a problem. We can work. We can get out there and do some jogging. um Okay, how did you financially afford to start your ministry? Set up office space, marketing materials, etc. Rita Pita, I did not. I did not financially afford it. Over time, I got to this place. But when I started my ministry, I started in my college dorm room on my old HP laptop, and which was which I started uploading videos to YouTube. I got a scholarship that was like $1,000, I think, or maybe it was 500. It was something like that. I bought a whole new laptop, and I launched my blog on Wix, and I paid for a 1-year subscription, and I think it cost me like $200 or $300 at that time. So I bought like a $300, $400 laptop, and I bought that. So I think in total, I spent like $700 to launch my ministry. But my ministry was already technically launched, because by that time I already had like 600 followers on YouTube, or subscribers on YouTube, because for the 2 years before that I was already posting for my ministry. So it didn't cost me any money to start YouTube, but it only costed me time. Over time, through products and the subscription services and courses and stuff, we were able to fund that fund the office and fund the marketing things. But I didn't have that in the beginning, and you don't need that. I did it from my dorm room. I did it from the office room at my mom's house. I did it from my bedroom. I did it from the car. I used to record videos in the car. I would record videos walking down the road and record videos there. Like, I would record videos outside in the garden. So there's no limit to this. You don't have to have that money to start that. Now, if you want to eventually get there, that's where you get into social university, and we kind of talked. We help you through that stuff. But just get started, like, I didn't have any of this, and I didn't need it though. I didn't need it back then. I didn't need an office, because what was I going to be doing in that office? I didn't need marketing techniques yet, because I just needed to be consistent with my faith in God, not to be consistent with the seed that God had given me. So there was some things I didn't need yet. Okay, you guys, we're coming up on our last 10 minutes. So just real quick, I'm going to keep answering some more questions. But real quick, I want to say, if you are interested in Social University, check it out. It's got a 7-day sale going on right now. You might really want to be a part of that. Sorry, I was zoomed in. But we have a 7-day sale going on right now. And so Social University has over 20 plus master classes, accountability leaders. You get live group coaching calls with me, live Q&As with me, all that good stuff. If you're interested, head on over there. his.thecloset.com/social university. Did I have a mentor in the beginning of my walk? Heck no, but I wish I did. Do you think all women should have a mentor? Yes. When I say a heck no, I mean like a physical mentor. I did not have that. I did not have somebody that checked in on me and like, how's your walk with God going? But I had virtual mentors. Dr. Miles Monroe was my top one. Billy Graham was my second. Catherine Kuhlman was my third. Derek Prince was my fourth. Who else? But nah, but and Derek Prince came more later. Like he just came probably like 2 years ago. But and now I feel like Tim Ross is a little bit of like my virtual mentor. But you see what I'm saying? I have never had, besides one, real mentor in life, but I didn't get that one until probably about a year or two ago. So sometimes you might not have a physical mentor, but you have these virtual mentors that you can glean from and you can learn from. And Dr. Miles Monroe is my number one for sure. For sure. All right. Morgan, have you read the whole Bible? Yes. But have I read it all from like, yes, but I've never read it all from like beginning to end. Where like start in Genesis and then you go here and then you end up in Joshua and then you end up in Esther. You know, like I've never went like that fully from the beginning of the page to the end of the book, but it's been in pieces. Like I've read every book of the Bible for sure. But I've never just sat and like read the Bible in 1 year from beginning to end. No, I don't read it like that. Someone said, how is school going? Two people asked that. How is school going? If you don't know what they mean by school, I'm currently in seminary and I just got back into it. And how is it going? Your girl need to be over there looking at some homework online, if I'm real honest right now. That's how it's going. But tomorrow I'm taking the day off. So seminary is going good. It's online this year for me because I did transition and move. But I actually like the setup. It's just your girl gotta do it. She gotta sit there and work. But so my goal right now is like just taking my Fridays and using my weekends to really just do homework. But I really like seminary. It's a breath of fresh air, trust me. It's almost like you pour out so much and then you get poured back into like the whole time in school. Like I have never went towards a degree that I actually loved until seminary. Like I used to be a biology degree major and I used to like frustrated, like go to class. Seminary, I'm ready for class. Like last semester I was ready for that mug. Right now it hurts me sometimes when I have to sit there and write a devotional or do something and I got all my seminary books sitting there looking at me and I'm like, I'm gonna get to y'all. I'm gonna get like I want to rip them mugs open. You know what I mean? So it's just that's how it's going right now. Your girl was busy and she wanted to be focusing on her classes more than she focused on anything else. Yeah, Angie Peace, I will say that um you want to eat because eating is healthy for you also but it's good to hear God's voice, but you can't only think that you can only hear it that clear on fasting. You can hear it that clear all day, like all of your life. It's just that fasting does open you up and it removes things, but you also have to understand that's why you are to fast periodically. You can fast multiple times a year, but you don't have to fast every week or every day. Or if you catch yourself more fasts then you catch yourself not. You have to be really careful for your body, but also you want to be careful for your health. Like for example, if you in your body, what happens is your body starts eating off of what it can get. So with that being said, is if you don't have enough calcium, your body's going to start eating off your teeth to get that calcium. If you don't have enough vitamin C, your body's going to take it from wherever it can get it. So, for example, that's why some people who fast a lot or have eating disorders, they have a lot of bad teeth. I'm speaking from experience. Their teeth begin to fall out. They begin to have a lot of more rotten teeth. It's because they deprive their body. And so since their body's deprived, it's going to take it from anywhere it can get it. So I would always encourage you to please eat. Eating is healthy for you. God wants you to eat. He just doesn't want you to overindulge. He doesn't want you to have gluttony. Like he doesn't want you to have gluttony, but he wants you to eat. So make sure you're eating. But then on the second thought as well is ask the Lord to shift your mindset because he can talk to you just like me and my assistant was just telling us like, I got to go on a fast again soon. And I'm like, fasting opens you up, but fasting doesn't move God at all. It just moves you out of God's way. So you don't have to always fast to get that. Sometimes all you have to do is just have faith. Like there are some times when I've been like, okay, God, you're about to do this. I need to fast. And the Lord's like, you don't need to fast. You just need to have faith. So some moments we run to fasting when all it requires is faith. But if your faith is low, then obviously you definitely need to fast. But just be careful with that too. Don't overdo it. I'm speaking from a girl who used to have an eating disorder, so I would always run to fasting. And when my teeth started falling out, and when people would be like, "Do you drink sodas and do you do this?" I'd be like, "No, like I don't eat." Like, what you mean? It's like that is why you have bad health, sis, because you don't eat. Like that's for me though. That's from my personal experience. So I'm not telling you to carry that mug. Will you be doing a glow up challenge for different seasons? I really enjoyed the summer glow up packet. It kept me engaged in different areas of my life. That's a great question. I feel like I will be doing different challenges, maybe not the glow up challenge, but we have another free resource coming out real soon, which we have like some 7-day challenge ideas coming out. We have some 21-day challenge ideas that we've been doing and we just really seen the benefits of. So we have a lot more challenges coming. As long as you're signed up with my ministry, you will get it. Um, Okay, let's see. Will it do good for introverts? I think you're asking about social university, and yes, it will. Trust me, like it will be amazing for you because you can go at your own pace. You can engage when you choose to, and a lot of women don't engage, but they read a lot of the tips and the strategies and join the live sessions and stuff. What do you think about women not wearing makeup and jewelry for God? Have you looked into that? Yeah, I definitely have. What do I think about that? I think that this is external, and I think this is what man looks at. Like we as humans, we look at the external, but God looks at the internal. He looks at the heart. And so, as long as these things aren't our God, and as long as these things aren't our idols, then God doesn't care about that. Just like he doesn't look at if I don't eat meat, but if I ate meat or not, that doesn't make me closer to God or farther. All it does is God looks at the inside. Whatever makes me feel better on the outside, I'm welcome to do that as long as that mug is not my idol. So that's how I say that. I definitely looked into that in seasons. I used to like be supernatural with no makeup and I barely wore jewelry just because I just was kind of more tomboyish a little bit growing up, but and due to sports and stuff. But as I've gotten older and got a little more into just being a woman and embracing, I wore more makeup and more jewelry, and it's just a personal desire I have, but it's not a god and it doesn't become an idol, nothing like that. Um, I feel like I spend too much time surfing the internet. I think the reality is you got to have a purpose on why are you surfing it, and then give yourself a time limit. Would you mind if I asked about your church? Like, do you have a pastor? Yeah, actually, it's just trying to transition a lot though since I moved. I moved July 31st from the city that I was living in. So I was going to Victory Church. My pastor was Paul Daughtery, probably for like the last 3 years. Three and a half, maybe. I don't know, something like that. 3 to 4 years. That's who my pastor was, Paul Daughtery. Man, I love Victory Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but I recently moved back to the country. So right now, I technically don't have a pastor. I have went to 3 different churches since I've been back here, but the main church I'm going to right now, it's in Texarkana. It's called Radiant Church, and the pastor is Pastor. We call him Pastor KJ, but it's Pastor KJ and his wife Dorticia. So those are my pastors right now, so to speak. But I'm doing more ministry down here, I think, because I don't know. We'll see what the Lord does. But I feel like I'm doing more ministry in this area than maybe being pastor too in this season. But we'll see how the Lord does that. It's just okay. Okay. All right, you guys. We're on our last few minutes, and I see some questions, and I'm so sorry I can't answer everything. Um, I try my best. Like I'm looking through. I'm literally just like looking through all these questions. Like some of these questions I can't answer. Honestly, I'm like I don't really know how to answer that because I don't want to give nobody wrong information based off what I think. Um, so, all right, ladies, don't forget we have Social University that just dropped. We have a 7-day sale going on. If you are interested in getting a part of Social University and being mentored by me and other experts inside of it, then I think it's going to bless you so much. If you're somebody who has a seed that needs some watering, sis, come on over, okay? Come on over to Social University. Let us pour some water on that seed, sis, and you watch that mug just grow and continue to just form into everything God has shown to you that it would be. So yeah, y'all, can't you tell I'm getting tired? I was tired before I got on this mug, but I'm tired. I've been sitting here because I was gonna go get some food, but I'm like, look, I'm literally sitting just like in this random spot because I was like, hey, let me pull over and just do this live like I said I was gonna do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this live. I hope this blesses you. Social University is on sale for 7 days. I would not even be talking about this mug because it's really not something, I do not like sharing stuff like this. But the only reason I'm sharing it is because I know if you want to be in the mug before the doors close, okay, that's really it. If you want to get in that mug before the doors close, then check it out. Also, I have another video dropping tomorrow. Yes, this is on my website at hisdaughter'scloset.com/social university. But I have another video dropping tomorrow for my Fearless Friday, for my Fearless Air. And we have a powerful word dropping on Monday, okay? So I hope you're excited for that. And hopefully, guys, the thing I want you guys to always see with me is that I know I do a lot of ministry, and I know I try to show you morning coffee, but the Fearless Fridays are really to show you Morgan, you know. And that's what I want to be. Like, I used to feel like I couldn't be Morgan. I had to be the perfect Christian girl, and I tried to be that for some years, you know. I really did. And one day, like, the Lord just was like, I accept you. Like, I accept all this stuff about you. Like, everything you feel like you should not embrace, like, I accept that. As long as that stuff is not your God, not your idol, like, I accept it. And so I feel like I'm at a place in my life where I accept me as well. And so I just try to be as real with you guys, as chill with you guys. I don't want to put on, I don't want to have to feel like I got to be a certain type of influencer and act a certain type of way and talk really slow. Like, I don't feel like I got to do any of that. I just got to be the woman that God has called me to be, and the women that are meant to grow through me and grow from me, they will. You know, and the same is for you, sis. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this live. Social University is on sale for the next 6 days now. I think, yeah, now the day's almost up over here. So the next 6 days, we have a great deal right now for you. If you get the pro, you get your first month for only $17.50. So, hey, if it's not for you, girl, you can cancel anytime. I pray it blesses you, because you know what? Your girl is a grown woman, okay? I'm grown out here, and life is. I'm too grown to not be going for my dreams. Like when I was 21, okay, 25, okay. You still was figuring. You 29 now, sis. There ain't no reason to be scared. What you scared of? The Lord been done showed you promises. He's been done gave you word after word, affirmation after affirmation, confirmation after what you scared of? What you scared of? You not like you got to grow past. You got to grow out of the 10-year-old or the 7-year-old that was scared, of the 13-year-old. You're a woman now, and as a woman, you got to embrace that, and you got to be bold. You got to be courageous, and you got to face those fears with the Lord, and know, hey, you grown, sis. What you scared of? What you scared of? Right? But anyways, I know that's how I talk to myself, y'all. When I be getting scared, I'm like, Morgan, you are so grown. What are you scared of? So anyways, I'm going to go get me some dinner real quick, and I will talk to you later. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye, guys.